Hey guys, Namaste and welcome back to our YouTube channel Tutor Pratik. In our previous session video, we learned to create vertical and horizontal navigation bar. Now today we are going to add drop-down sub-menu for our navigation bar. But before we start, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do subscribe our YouTube channel and press the bell button and it will be notified whenever we publish our new session video. Now let's start today's session. On start, let's create simple horizontal navigation bar by using the UL element. Now let's give some CSS styles to create our UL element into horizontal navigation bar. And first, let's give the CSS property for our UL element. Let's type none, margin 0, padding 0, background color, and overflow to hidden. After then, let's give the properties for our li element, float, left. Now for creating drop-down submenu, let's give some classes. We are going to add a drop-down submenu for our this drop-down menu. So on this li, let's give a class drop-down. Then also give a class for our drop-down hyperlink, class drop btn. And inside this li, we have to create one div with class Dropdown Content. And inside this div, we will give a various hyperlink that will be listed as our drop-down submenu for our drop-down menu. So I am going to use this a tag for creating various hyperlinks. After then, let's go to the style to give the various properties for our LIA element and also for the drop btn class. Display inline block. Color, let's give white color for our link. Then let's give the padding 14 pixel for top and bottom side and 16 pixel for left and right side. Text decoration to be none. And let's make our text alignment to the center. Now let's move to the hover effect, LIA hover dot drop down hover dot drop btn. Let's give the background color. Now we had applied our hover effect for our menu item. Here we can see that these 1, 2, 3 and 4 are our drop-down submenus for our this drop-down menu. So on initial state, we don't want to make visible these submenus. And these submenus are we kept inside our div of class drop-down content. So let's give the properties for this drop-down content that we can hide these submenus on our initial state. For this, dot drop-down content display none. Now we can see that our drop-down submenus are hidden on our starting position. And let's give another properties for our this drop-down content class, like minimum weight to be 160 pixel. As this is a drop-down content, which should be placed just after this its main menu. So let's give its position property to absolute. And also we have to add z-index value to 1 because we want to make this drop-down content in our front side. And lastly, let's give the background color for our drop-down content as same as we given for our UL. After then, let's give some properties for our drop-down content A elements. The A elements that are inside our drop-down content are the submenus for our drop-down menu. So we want to show these drop-down submenus as a vertical navigation menu bar inside this drop-down. So to make vertical drop-down submenus, for this drop-down content elements, we will give a property display to block and text decoration to none, padding 12 pixels to top and bottom and 16 pixels left and right side. Then let's make the text align to left side. Now the last important thing, as we hidden this drop-down content on the initial state, now we have to show the drop-down content when we hover our mouse on this drop-down menu and inside this drop-down submenus. For this, let's give the property dot drop-down hover dot drop-down content, and then inside it we will give the property display to block. That's it. Now we completed all our styling designs for our drop-down menus. Now we can see that on our browser, when we hover our mouse on this drop-down, we can see that we have 4 drop-down submenus. For adding more submenus for other menus like inside this news, we just have to add this drop-down content div inside this li element, and then we have to give the class for this li to drop-down, and for this drop-down link we have to give the class drop btn. Now we can see that we have this drop-down menus for our news menu and also in this drop-down menu bar. In this way, we can easily create a drop-down submenus for any of menu items inside our navigation bar. That's all for today. We will come back soon with a new interesting session videos. Until then, take care and goodbye.